incredible person she has become.
Our next speaker is one of the most talented people we've ever met. I mean, in all seriousness, how many people do you know that has ever killed 2 deer, not one, but 2 deer, with one car at one time? Pretty impressive, honestly.
In addition to her amazing driving abilities, she is a wonderful singer and can write songs that will make you cry. Singing is her first passion. FFA was not a part of her plan. However, after some persuasion from Dad and I, she reluctantly joined, and then she fell in love with every aspect of the FFA.
Around this time last year, I was sitting up in the announcer's booth actually, and anxiously and nervously awaiting as the state officer nominations were called, and lo and behold, she got the same office that I served just a few years ago.
Watching this speaker as a state officer, I have been awed by her dedication and commitment to this organization and to all of you. I am proud to call her my sister.
For some reason, she still comes to me for advice and questions or even just a vent. I don't understand why still, but I consider it an honor and a privilege.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you my sister
and my great friend, your 2015-2016 Wyoming State FFA Second Vice President, Jamie Hansen.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most, and I've just gotta keep going. Our lives are made up of moments. Some moments you think won't matter, and some you're sure are destined to wreck your world. There are moments when you are on top of the world, moments in which you can do anything, and there are moments in which your world comes crashing, tumbling down, in which your world stops spinning. Moments in which you are nothing, and those in which you are infinite. And in each of these moments, we are given a choice. The choice of what to eat, who to hang out with, to be someone worth being, to do something greater. It's the choice to take a leap. In fact, we are offered this choice to take that leap hundreds of times a day. But what does that leap look like? Maybe you don't have a lot of friends. You can choose to take the leap and go out and make some. So you don't have the best home life. You can choose to be the kindest person possible and rise above your situation. So you don't like the person you see when you look in the mirror. You can choose to be someone worth being. Taking the leap isn't always easy. In fact, it hasn't been easy for me. I don't know how many of you know this about me, but I've never been the queen of popularity. And just because I'm a state officer doesn't mean that I am the best at anything or that I'm not afraid of failing. I'm human. I fall down. I was a gymnast for 14 years, so I do have experience in the falling down department. And if you look at me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I've got these long legs and these flimsy arms, definitely not the build for a gymnast. I wasn't the best. I hardly ever won. I wasn't the best at an event or in my age group or at my gym, I wasn't even second best. I was an ordinary gymnast. And my last few years, I spent all my time worrying about falling short of being extraordinary. I wanted so badly to be perfect that I forgot about all the little choices, all these little changes that not only make up a skill, but eventually they make up who you are. My senior year, I was competing in a meet and I was warming up for the balance beat. And I was so focused on a skill I had mentally been struggling with that I let it affect my entire warm-up. I let it mess up my mount, I let it mess up my leap, I let it mess up my turn, my jumps, and I let it mess up my simple cartwheel back dismount. And for those of you who aren't a gymnast, a cartwheel back is a simple cartwheel attached to a backflip. And for me, this was something I did every single day. It was second nature. I missed both feet, and I tell you what, I crashed hard over a simple cartwheel back. And yet, instead of listening to my coach when I got up, all I could think about was how big of a failure I was. I didn't listen to him when he said that when I crashed, my feet kicked me in the back of my head, and that if I had landed any other way, I would have broken my neck. I didn't hear anything. All I could think about was that I wasn't good enough. So I walked out of that gym, and I stood outside that door, and I cried. Not one of my prouder moments. In that moment, I was anything but extraordinary. And yet I had a choice to make. I could choose to go compete, or I could choose to leave that gym and not look back, something I was actually seriously considering doing. But that day I chose to go back in there and have an extraordinary meet. Was I an extraordinary gymnast? No, God knows I wasn't. But I was an extraordinary athlete. Because where others gave 50%, I had to give 110% just to get the same exact skill. I chose every day to be an athlete. But that choice is hard. To make that choice is to be brave, terrified, fearless. But what if instead of accepting that we're ordinary, we decided to give 110%? What if we didn't accept limits? What if we chose to be infinite and we didn't fear this thing we consider to be failure so much that it stops us from reaching our dreams? That's a world I want to live in. In this moment, I hope that at least one of you feels infinite, as if you could do anything. In this moment tonight, I hope that at least one of you decides to make this choice, to take the leap to be something more, to do something more, to go out there and be kind, be the change, and touch lives. To go out there and be someone's reason for not giving up. And in one moment, choose to do the very thing that absolutely terrifies you, because one moment is all it takes for everything to change. So what is it? What is it that scares you? What is it that makes you up in the balcony, down in front of me, to the side and in the back? What makes you feel alive? And whose life do you want to impact? Tonight, I want to thank you. Thank you for making me feel infinite every single second of this journey. For making me believe again in every single one of my dreams. For making me realize that the person I am is exactly who I want to be and that I don't have to change. Thank you for letting me live my dream and for being a part of it. Thank you for making me, thank you for believing in me and for making me extraordinary. Because if it weren't for all of you, I wouldn't have chosen to take the leap. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. And sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's a climb, yeah. Whoa. It's not the end. One more thing to say. Wyoming FFA. Choose to live a life filled with moments where you feel infinite. Choose to be extraordinary. Choose to take the leap because one moment changes absolutely everything.
Not very much fun. You know what? That's the thing. So, not very fun.
Okay. Bye, Jeff.
Hey, Justin.
Jamie, thank you for being full of surprises. At the beginning of this year, you were the one person that not many of us knew, but now we know a lot of you. You love cats more than any person that we know, and can randomly break out a song at any given moment. Thank you for bringing your big, beautiful heart to our team, and thank you for being someone that we can laugh with and at. Mostly, thank you for being you, Jamie, because you are extraordinary. Wyoming FFA, your state second vice president, Jamie Hansen.